you're the first.
I'm the first, yeah, and both my kids are showing so far no inclination to be a part of it either. So I may just continue to be the only one.
Cabinet.
Tapping, mapping. That goes back to a time where I didn't know the difference between PU paint and Yuko paint. That had to be taught to me. This is what the difference is. Our legacy.
Yeah.
Somebody will make it grow more. But no, I don't think as of now that that's going to happen with me.
Hi guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of Guide Know Your Architect/Designer. Today is a very special day for us because for the first time on a couch, we have a furniture designer and she is so poised, so elegant. I cannot wait to dive into her story. On the couch, we have Shilpa Gupta.
Hi, Vibhandya.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I am good, thank you.
She has a beautiful space, a beautiful firm called Mozaic, and we are going to know all about it today. On to you, Shilpa. Before I could dive into your journey, want to really understand who and what is a furniture designer?
A furniture designer, of course, starts with designing a piece,
Right.
seeing it through to the detailing.
Mm-hmm.
That's when for us it changes from concept to a drawing and material selection,
Right.
finishes, etc. So it's a whole story of something that starts as a thought or an idea or a visual.
Okay.
And then grows into a form through a sketch, starts taking shape if it's something that's not easily translatable by the factory into straight away taking it into production, so to say. Then there are mock-ups of Armas that are made. So to me, a designer is someone who sees it from inception, from the thought to the time that it's actually achieved.
Okay.
For me, it doesn't stop with just the concept or just the design. It needs to translate because not every design can be executed. Sometimes you fall short in, okay, it's not really holding up, it's not balancing, or there's something. So seeing it to fruition, I think for us, for me, for my team, that's what designing covers.
Okay. For people who don't really know, for example, people usually think that furniture designers are usually just buying a furniture and putting it in a space. Could you break that down? Like, what is the process?
An interior designer visualizes the entire space.
Okay.
Which goes from everything from your floor, your walls, your lights, your curtains, including the furniture and where what goes, the selection of it, the proportions of it, that all comes under interior design.
Okay.
Furniture design is a subtitle of that, you can say.
Oh, nice way to put it.
It's a part of it that creates and gives you that entire space that has been visualized. It kind of brings it all together.
Okay.
So a furniture designer is the person who oversees the detailing, like I mentioned, of the furniture and bringing it to light, the scale, the proportions, everything that belongs over there. It's not the selection of furniture.
Okay.
The selection of furniture would be the interior designer who's in charge of that project or who's creating a space. Sometimes it would be a stylist where a space is ready, but the other elements like furniture, curtain, lighting, all of that has to come. So it's styling the space.
Okay.
But a furniture designer per se would only deal with the furniture.
Okay.
Sometimes including the selection, sometimes the selection's already made by the lead designer, by the interior designer. Like I said, it's our job to then bring that whole visual together and complete it together to see their vision through.
Okay. So basically,
so furniture designer creates furniture.
Okay.
Not only selects the furniture.
Okay. So basically, you'll get a blueprint of how the space is going to look like, or
we get the layouts.
Yeah, you'll get the layouts. So when it comes to the furniture, for example, the interior designer says, I want this particular couch and all, but you know how the dimensions or how the proportions are going to fit.
Yeah.
How do you tell the person or that this is how it's going to fit in the space? For example, sometimes in sketching and drawings, maybe it looks practically it's there, but to bring that into life, how do you go about that?
So sometimes an image is given to us and sometimes a concept is given to us and we suggest accordingly.
Right.
Most of the times it's an experienced designer. They know a particular thing, a particular feature will work or not.
Right.
And then we scale it, we put it into proportion, we show it to them, put into their layout.
Okay.
Sometimes we take the liberty of saying this is not going to work
Right.
in the space you need or the proportions you need. What if we put it aside and come up with something that's more suited to the requirements of the space?
So y'all tweak as well?
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if something's not right,
yes,
it comes back onto you not because the piece is not right, but because you've not judged it rightly.
Correct.
So it makes better to have that cleared before we get into it. There's no point in me making an 8-foot sofa for a 9-foot wall and then saying, but that's what you asked for kind of thing.
Exactly. So you do say, no, this is what we should do.
Yeah, we like to at least put our feedback across, and then of course the decision is the client's, but we definitely like to say it upfront that this is going to have the following challenges in the space that you intended for. Maybe we can look at it differently.
Oh, amazing. Okay, this is some insider stuff. Didn't know about this. I thought, you'll get how the space is going to look, and then accordingly you'll design the furniture according to the layouts or the drawings that you're given. But to tweak it, this is...
Yeah, which is actually the interesting part of the job, because otherwise if it's something that's just coming to you for execution, it doesn't really bring out your inputs into it. Yeah. So this is what keeps us involved in the project, and we're lucky to have a client base who welcome our inputs.
Yes.
So
you all are well respected in the industry.
So that helps, because we know we can say it. We say we're taking the liberty of telling you this, and so that keeps it interesting for us also. We feel like we are a part of the project more than just giving something to the project.
Yes. Do you feel like you all are, no value is given, or the respect is there for a furniture designer?
No, respect is definitely there.
Okay.
We've been blessed with a lot of love, appreciation. Most importantly, we've been given honest critiquing.
Okay.
So if something's turned out great, but if there's something that I can do better the next time, I've been lucky to get those inputs from seniors in the industry.
Okay, nice.
So to the point of sometimes when replicas are common in our line of work. So I have had clients, senior designers, who've shown me their original piece.
Okay.
Shilpa, understand it, figure it out, do whatever R&D you want on it, because whenever you make it for me, I want you to crack it.
Oh, lovely. That's
that
nice.
Thing of you need to crack it is what, obviously they consider us to be at a level where we are able to do it.
Right.
So I've been lucky in the last 15 years to get a lot of love from people in the industry.
Nice.
Like I was telling you, every job, every industry sees the good and bad of it. As long as you see more of the good, we're good, we're sorted.
Cool. You mentioned 15 years in this industry. How has it been for you?
It's been fabulous. Okay. It's been fabulous. It's been exhausting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been exhausting.
Okay.
But no, I love being a part of what I do.
Okay.
I really enjoy it. There are parts of the interior design world that don't excite me.
Okay.
So I'm very thankful for the niche that I found for myself, because I actually enjoy being a part of it. Nice. I love doing it. I love what we put out.
Right.
So that's good. It's been a good journey.
Take me back in time. Why this profession? How did you decide?
Take you back in time? Okay, yes. That goes back to a time where I didn't know the difference between PU paint and Duco paint. That had to be taught to me. This is what the difference is. I'm not a qualified, an educationally qualified designer. I haven't studied design or any aspect of it. I come from a marketing background.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
My first job was with the Taj Hotel, so nothing to do with this world that I am in today.
Okay.
And then we had a few family projects that were being designed for us by some exceptional people in the industry.
Okay.
People that I work with today.
Okay.
Being a part of that project, doing everything that needed to it, finding the materials, supervising the work, being on site, that kind of, it kind of excites you. Yeah, it brings something of, okay, this is something that I want to do more. I want to keep doing it even after this project is done.
Okay.
So that kind of is what got us excited. While we were doing our own projects, I realized that this is back in the early 2000s.
Okay.
There was nobody doing customized furniture, hardly anyone doing customized
Yeah.
furniture. So there was this
Right.
huge void in the market.
Correct, yes.
There were your site contractors
Yeah.
where something was given, a design was given, and then their version of it was executed to the best of their ability and their understanding.
Correct, right.
Or it was imported furniture being brought
Yes.
down for the site. So there was this thing in in the industry that you need this, but it's not being supplied by someone.
Right.
There's not somebody who's doing it. That's when I used the resources that I had, because by then working on all those projects,
Yeah.
we had exposure to some great craftsmen in the in the industry. People who
Okay.
were very good with their hands, very good with understanding what we needed them to. That kind of became my core team.
Okay.
Touchwood, that core team exists with me even today.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, so people that I've known for the last 25, 30 years, they continue to be my core team today. But today they're a part of Mosaic. They
Okay.
belong to our team, they work for
Nice.
us, kind of thing. So that's how it started. And then it's
Okay.
just been learning, growing, making, and that loop continues.
I want to get a bit more into detail because this profession is quite the unusual. Usually people decide to become a CA or a marketing or an engineer. So what was in your mind back in, I know where you got your inspiration, but to click this into this fraternity?
There wasn't anything in mind. I didn't have a vision. I didn't start out with a business plan.
Okay.
Honestly.
Okay.
Okay, where will the company be when it's 10 years old?
Right.
What will we have achieved when it's 10
Yeah.
years old? It didn't start with a plan. It
Okay.
started with something that excited me.
Okay.
We put up an experience center, so to say,
Yeah.
that fascinated people enough as it fascinated me.
Right.
From then, the team grew.
Okay.
The space grew. Our infrastructure, our production base, it just grew from there.
Okay.
Today, if you sit with me and say, yes, I hope I have a business plan in place, which I hope to see
Right.
come to fruition in the next 5 years, 7 years. It's different now.
Okay.
But when I started, it was something that I want to do, and I want to get it right.
Okay.
If I hadn't got it right, I wouldn't have stuck on, because
Okay.
there's no point in being an average
Right.
player.
Oh, nice.
If you want to be a serious part of the industry, you have to be really good at it.
Yes, true. That is true. Wow. Okay. Taken aback by that because people usually go with, okay, it's going with the flow. I'll be in my bubble. But you want to be the best, and
Yeah, yeah.
that's actually very
Yeah.
nice. You have that competitive edge in you.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get somewhere, then
Right.
yeah, you have to be that little OCD about it.
Oh yes, definitely. So in your family, anyone is part of this industry?
No.
No one. So
No.
so you're the first.
I'm the first, yeah, and both my kids are showing so far no inclination to be a part of it either. So I may just continue to be the only one.
Okay. So when your family knew that this is what you're getting into, what was their reaction?
Super supportive.
Really?
Super supportive. I mean, I don't think I would have lasted 3 years
Okay.
if I didn't have that backbone.
Oh, lovely.
My husband, back then my mother-in-law, she's no more my father-in-law.
Okay.
There's no way you can survive unless that part of your personal life is
True.
under control and is encouraging you to keep doing more and keep doing better.
So you got 100% support from the family.
Absolutely. Like
Amazing.
100% and beyond. There is absolutely no way you can manage unless that is there with you.
Right. That's so true.
Yeah.
I mean, without support, you start doubting yourself, right?
I don't know about doubting yourself, but you definitely can't. It's a lot of pressure, right, at work.
Right. Yeah.
And then if you have the support and encouragement at
Yes.
home, then you are able to deliver to that pressure. You can't do it if you're pressured from both sides.
Right. True. True. If not this profession, what was your backup plan?
Okay, how stupid will I sound if I say I didn't have a backup plan?
No backup plans at all. You had nothing in mind?
No.
So fully inclined to become a furniture designer.
Yeah, like I said, it excited me.
Okay.
I gave it a shot. It fell in place. Luck played a part. Hard work played a huge part. But this is something that I decided to do. It's not like at that point in my early 30s, I had a thing of, okay, if this doesn't work out,
Yeah.
maybe I'll do this. That was not there.
That was not there. Okay, so just fully inclined. You stuck to your heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. Usually people are like, okay, if this doesn't turn out, maybe fashion designer or a cook or something that excites them.
Yeah, and like for all of us who've started something new,
Yeah.
if the blocks are falling into place, you have a good team, your client base is responsive, it's growing from all
Right.
sides, then it encourages you to keep going. If you get derailed at some point, maybe I would have looked at things differently.
Right.
But with every challenge, we managed to overcome it, we managed to learn from it, we managed to grow.
Right.
So that's kind of kept us on track.
Nice. So before starting Mosaic, were you working anywhere?
I did.
Okay.
I started work at the age of 20 with the Taj Group of Hotels. My first
Okay.
job, I was a junior sales executive.
Oh wow, okay.
With, I'd have to tell my children, a salary of 3,500 back in the
Wow,
day.
what is that?
So no, I started. I grew there as well. I worked
Okay.
I worked in Taj Hotels, and
Yes.
when I moved to a hospitality company.
Okay.
So I was in sales and marketing for 8 years.
8 years. Oh my God.
Then took a breather when I got married and had my older son.
Okay.
And then started working with my husband, like I said, on the
Right.
projects that he
Yeah.
needed my inputs in, or I think he just needed like a head chef and chief dishwasher kind of person to be there. And that's for me where this whole excitement started.
Okay. So from a 9 to 5 job to being a full-time entrepreneur.
It was never 9 to 5.
Okay, never 9 to 5.
Never 9 to 5. No, anybody who's worked in hospitality or marketing knows it's like...
Yeah, it's a full-time job actually.
There's no 9 to 5. No, but that was great. It gave me a huge amount of exposure. I was traveling, I was meeting people,
Yeah.
I was seeing new places. That has definitely
Okay.
helped today.
Okay.
So no, that was fun while it lasted, although it was very, very exhausting. And I think that stage of life prepares you for what we're doing today. It helps you put in those hours and that kind of commitment.
Yeah, that's so true. So when you started Mosaic, how was that journey? Like, what was in your mind that time? Okay, I'm going to start my own experience center.
It was scary.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Starting something of your own.
It was scary.
How did you go about it?
Like I said, the team,
Yeah.
my second backbone,
Yeah,
that was in place. And they've stood by me. They've stood by my rants, my tantrums, my everything. They've stood by me. So that helped.
Okay.
Developing a client base was difficult because, like I said, I'm not a part of the industry. I was not a part of the world.
So no nepotism.
Oh no. I wish, but no. No. So building a client base
Yes.
Was tough.
Okay.
But there were people who gave us that encouragement and that confidence of, okay, let me see you put it through.
Okay.
In the very first 6-8 months of starting. And those are people I will never forget, ever, because they put confidence in me even when I had nothing to show for it.
Right.
It was just me saying I can do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, building a client base was tough. It was scary. It was tough seeing the first year's balance sheet.
Okay.
But it's only gotten bigger and better.
Why I'm asking you this question, because many people want to start something of their own. So an advice to them when they are starting something of their own, what should their mindset be like?
Be open to learning.
Okay.
For anything in life. I think if any of us come into it feeling like we know it all, that's kind of your death bell, you know.
Really?
We all are experts in our various areas at various things, but we're also always constantly learning.
Okay.
So we know what is right, and it's our place to say what is right if something is not, and this is how maybe it should be done differently. But the know-it-all attitude doesn't work. Be open to learn, be open to critiquing.
Okay.
And take baby steps.
Take it slow.
Yeah, take the baby steps. Like what we were talking about, I didn't have a business plan. Maybe in hindsight, I should have had. Maybe the company today would have been in a different direction, but maybe I wouldn't have learned as much as I did.
Right.
So take baby steps. Don't think you know it all. Don't jump into starting your own thing unless we've all learned something, with the
Right.
experts, and
Yeah.
then go about it. It's very challenging. Uh, there's a lot of cost factors that come in because everything then becomes your baby, right? The
Right.
expenses, the
Yes.
investments, the dealing with people, dealing with your
Yeah.
team. So yeah, one step at a time. The only thing I would say is one step at a time.
And no give up attitude.
Absolutely not.
Because I'm for sure when you started off, of
Yeah.
course, you were not expecting for ching, ching, ching.
No.
So it's a slow
No,
process.
it is a slow process.
Okay.
Yeah. It falls into place eventually. If you stick at it and you're good at it, it'll definitely fall into place.
Okay. True. Yeah, that is actually very true. Because I feel like now people want to start something of their own, but it's a very short term goal. The long term mindset is still lacking.
Which is, I mean, all of us have been through it. Maybe in
Yeah.
my 20s, even I had that attitude. But because I'm older today, I can say
Yeah.
that take it one step at a time. It'll hold us all well going forward.
Yes. Speaking about challenges, what is the biggest challenge in your industry?
I would say pricing.
Pricing. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more about it. What do you mean?
Everybody wants a good deal. I do too.
Okay.
But some things we can't cut corners on.
Okay.
When I say we, I mean as a buyer
Right.
as well as a manufacturer.
Okay.
So even when I'm out in the shopping for something for myself, for my home or whatever,
Right.
if something is X and something is 3X,
Yeah.
there will be a difference somewhere.
Right.
There will be something why that is that much more. It's not just that the 3X is going home with bigger profit margins. Sure, sometimes. But if you're somebody who's a constant in the industry,
Right.
then there is a reason for it.
Okay.
So it's becoming that's one part of the work that's becoming more and more challenging, having to explain why something is, and it is not our margins that are driving up the price. In fact, we are probably one of the industries with extremely tight margins.
Okay.
Because we are a very labor-oriented industry, but in bespoke or custom-made furniture, a lot of the work here in India is still handmade, not machine-made.
Oh.
So our
okay.
operating costs on that, from that aspect, are fairly high. So explaining why something is the way it is, and why something from a certain foreign country maybe comes at
Yes.
half the price, for example,
Yeah.
we go through it in our work.
Yes.
So that is a part that's a little
Challenging.
Yeah,
Do you think people understand after the explanation? Do they take it in the right sense?
you win some, you lose some.
Okay.
So there's enough to go around. As long as at the end of the day somebody is appreciated that I understand you are more expensive because you are better, that's fine. Even if at the end of the day some people very sweetly say, I get it, but it's not my budget, that's fine. As long as our work, like you say, is appreciated, respected, there's enough to go around.
Okay. Speaking about costs and all, are handmade furnitures expensive? Like, can everyone afford?
So what happens is, it's not the handmade part that's the biggest cost factor.
Okay.
It is the multiples.
Okay.
Today, if you're buying from a company or a brand,
Right.
anywhere in the world, it doesn't have to be a luxury brand. It could just be a company that's making it in multiples.
Okay.
When something is being manufactured a few hundreds at a time, a few thousands at the time, that's obviously bringing the cost of production down.
True. Yes.
What happens in bespoke furniture is, I'm making your one at a time.
Yes.
So that couch is just being made for you.
Okay.
It's not like I have these 20 designs. Of these 20 designs, my drawings, my farmas, my mock-ups are ready in my factory.
Okay.
I'm making this particular couch today. I may not make it again for the next 2 years.
True.
Or I'm making this design of 12 dining chairs, but it's being made for you at that particular time. I won't at the same time make another 12 or another 20 extra and keep.
That's the exclusive.
So that's where the cost factor usually changes from making multiples of a few hundreds at a time compared to the kind of work that we are doing, which is bespoke and custom made.
Got it. My God, that's such a big difference from a regular furniture and bespoke. Okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
I think many people will understand after this for sure. Taking back that, how was your first project like? What did you start off with?
We had our opening over 2 days. We had the puja and, like a wine and
Yes.
cheese introduction evening to where we first were in Bandra on Turner Road.
Oh, y'all were in Bandra.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So it was one day for the family, and then the next day for other people of the trade and friends and things like that. And we had a visitor come who was a relative of somebody else.
Okay.
And I like this, I like this, I like this. We sat down
Okay.
there.
Okay.
We discussed sizes. Obviously, it was very exciting for,
Okay.
you know, like the opening, this thing kind of day. So we called them the next morning and he said, yeah, can you pick up the advances? I've really liked what I've seen.
Really?
And yeah, that was memorable.
Oh my God.
So it kind of gave me the thing of that display that I had created, the palette that I had put out for the opening of the store. It clicked.
Okay.
It wasn't something that just made me happy. It made other people also happy to see it and want to take part of it home,
Okay.
or feel that it belonged in their space too. So that somehow was, you know, touch wood, God's grace. It clicked.
Okay.
Like day one clicked.
Okay.
And yeah, that's something that I don't think I'll forget.
Amazing. So he just came to the store.
He was a relative of somebody that we had invited, or somebody that had been a part of our crew.
Okay.
And I didn't know that they were doing up their home.
Okay.
So he came, he phoned his son and daughter-in-law saying, are you guys around? Drop in and see this stuff. And yeah, that was our first order taken on the day of our opening party.
How was that feeling?
I don't think I'll ever forget that.
Your first project.
I'll never forget that.
That's amazing, you know, on the spot opening. And
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about your situation that time. That's so cool. During the course of your journey, what has changed over time?
Clients are better educated. When I say client, I mean the homeowner.
Okay.
For us, a client could be the architect, interior designer who's heading that project, and eventually it's the homeowner who the home is being readied for.
Right.
So the end user, the homeowner, is definitely become more educated, more savvy,
Okay.
better exposure. It's a double-edged sword.
Okay.
So having them better educated means they understand what we are explaining or wanting to do or wanting to show better.
Right.
The flip side of it is that sometimes they think or they disagree with what the designer has in mind.
Okay.
But the designer sees it as an overall execution.
Right.
So that vision, you know, is like it's cast, it's set, and it needs to be followed through so that what you've imagined is actually what comes through at the end, at the handover. So clients are definitely had more exposure. They're more involved.
Okay.
100% more involved. It's nothing now is left to the designer. They're there as part of the selection process, the selection of the designs, the finishes, the upholstery. That's something that's definitely changed over the last several years. Social media.
Oh, that is a topic to discuss on. But you're saying clients are more involved in the situation compared to earlier days.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So their inputs, is it more towards like the client's opinion, or everyone's input is welcomed? Because you all know better what's going to fit the space.
So inputs are definitely welcomed. There's always something positive that could come out of it. Whether it should be implemented or not is something that involves a lot of give and take, and maybe sometimes it gets changed to what the client has suggested, sometimes it gets left as it is. So there's give and take on that, but inputs are always welcomed.
Okay. What is the most bizarre request you have received?
Change it all.
Change it all?
We've had working drawings in place. We've had the material selected, the finishes selected.
Okay.
Change it. I don't like it. So the whole look was recreated, which was definitely much more challenging for the designer, the interior designer, than for us. But yeah, we've seen that. Luckily, just once.
Once.
But we've seen that.
Change it all.
Change it all. And it was on paper.
Okay.
But yeah, change it all.
Oh my God. Okay, but weird. We want something weird. No, like weird request.
Well, I've had an architect come to me. We had a 10-foot dinette, a sideboard in production for them, which was, as in the carcass was made, it was partly finished. They had checked it, they had seen it, made some minor tweaks to it. And they sent us an 8-foot slab of marble. So basically they sent us something that was 2 feet smaller than what was needed.
Okay.
And said, no, this is all that's left with us, you have to do it. So there was at one point me almost wanting to send them, it's not elastic. I can't stretch it, but no. So that one, I remember at the end of it had become quite a heated thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was probably the most bizarre that I've encountered. 8 फुट
I
का
can't
मार्बल
stretch
है,
it.
10 फुट पे आप लगा दो.
Oh my god, I can't stretch it, it seems. Okay.
That was borderline bizarre.
That was the most weirdest you have received and
Yeah.
all. Okay, now we're getting to the digital part. What is your take on social media?
I'm a nerd.
Okay.
I'm technically challenged, so probably the worst person that you
Wait,
can
when you
ask
mean
that
by
to.
nerd, do you mean
Nerd's a wrong word. I'm tech challenged.
okay?
So I don't have a personal account.
Okay.
It's a necessary tool
Mm-hmm.
for all of us.
Right.
I do hashtag OOTD too.
Me too.
Yeah. So it's a necessary evil, can I say, or a
Okay.
necessary tool for all of us
Okay.
to learn, to get our exposure, to see what's happening, to get new contacts,
Mm-hmm.
see the new trends. So it's an important part, but sometimes it becomes too much.
Okay. Because you have been part of that journey wherein drawing and sketching.
Yeah, I still sketch by hand.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
nice. So you have seen that, and now with AI and technology coming into the
So
place.
it's fabulous. It's a great tool.
Okay.
100% for any industry.
Okay.
Like anything, like so many other things in the world, it comes with its negatives.
Right.
As long as the people who are well versed with it or know what to do with it, keep it that it doesn't, the evils don't overpower the goods of it, or the
Right.
negatives don't overpower the positives of it. I think there's a lot of us. I should learn from it. I should
Okay.
know how to handle it better, definitely. So,
Do you incorporate the facilities of, like ChatGPT or Pinterest in your...
My exposure to ChatGPT was limited to my son's grade 12 requirements.
Okay.
Or whatever he had to use it for.
Okay.
Personally, I haven't gone beyond that with ChatGPT.
Okay.
I know my team is experiments with some of the things that are there, some of the features that are there. But in my work, except to show visuals or how renders have evolved,
Right.
or
Yes.
virtual walkthroughs have
Correct.
evolved, which have made life really simple for the design community.
Okay.
That's where it is at.
So a big aid for that particular
Yes,
segment.
definitely. Most definitely.
And your take on Pinterest?
I have my fun with it.
Okay.
And that's about where it is for me. Like I said, I'm not very tech savvy, or
Okay.
I try to limit my screen time. I'm little old fashioned when it comes to that.
That's actually very nice, I mean, so then how do you draw inspiration? Because I speak to a lot of people from the community, and Pinterest is like a go-to.
It definitely is. And not just for furniture or interior design, it's a go-to for so many things.
Okay.
Definitely it's a useful tool as long as it doesn't dictate everything that we do. All of what we are doing or learning is not coming from that. As an example, I can tell you that sometimes a photograph is shown to us where the ergonomics do not make sense.
Right.
It's sometimes hard to explain to a client that's a 3D render.
Exactly.
It's not a photograph of an actual piece. So when I make it for you, this thickness, the leg thickness, the balance, the support, I can't do that because that's not an actual piece.
Right.
It's a render. Usme banane mein, to make it stand, to make it comfortable, to make it strong, there are these changes that will have to be made. So that's just to give you an example. But otherwise, to get ideas, sure, like I said, I take fashion inspo, whatever from it too.
You mentioned a lot of intricate details. Do you explain all these elements while pitching into the client?
In our working drawings, we like to show it all as much as we can, so that the end result is not surprising to anybody.
Okay.
The designer has been a part of the process, seen a mock-up. I welcome clients to come to the factory when things are work in progress.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
really?
because you see it, you know what to expect at the end of it. If there is something that you want tweaked, at the end of the day, it is being made for you.
Okay.
You want something altered, I'm happy to do it. It's being made for you.
Right. Altered. When does that change stop?
At some point, it has to stop.
Okay.
Yeah. So for us, we like to hope that it stops at the carcass stage.
Okay.
That could be a change that it's not necessarily coming from the client. It's a change that's happening between me and my team.
Okay.
When something's being created for the first time, in the beginning I mentioned it starts with being made on paper and then it moves to the other stages.
Yes.
So sometimes when you see it,
Mm-hmm.
you realize there could be something that would make it better or more
Mm-hmm.
viable or more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So the tweaks or the alteration could even be at me doing it or my team suggesting it. Doesn't have to always come from the client, but hopefully it stops at the carcass stage.
Okay.
And then it moves into finishing. Once it's given from carpentry to finishing, hopefully there should be no more changes to that.
So you draw a boundary.
I like to. We try.
Okay.
We definitely try.
Okay. Have you faced any like clients requesting? Because why I'm asking is I want to know whether you have a work-life balance. Do you have a work-life balance?
I try.
You try. Okay.
I try. Most of us do. Sometimes you're not able to disconnect.
Okay.
Sometimes it's because you're not able to, because the mind is just
Thinking about
yeah.
that.
And sometimes you have to. For example, if I have a handover happening in the next 2 days,
Right.
I can't forget me. Even my team cannot go home and say, done, I'm home, mera ho gaya aaj ka.
Okay.
You know, there are calls to the factory happening, there are videos happening. If there's something that's not done by the time you want it to, but you know you have to give it in the next 48 hours,
Right.
it doesn't stop. But in
Okay.
principle, for all of us, and I say to my team too, there has to be a balance so that we don't burn out.
Right.
I mean, you know, at the end of the day, we have
Yeah.
to be at it the next day again, and we have to try and be fresh at it.
So if a client texts you at 9, 10, 11, do you respond at
I
the...
won't respond.
Okay.
I won't respond unless I know it's an emergency. For example,
Okay.
if a client's asking me, we had this tomorrow, is it still on?
Yeah.
Most definitely. It's only right that I respond. But if it's someone who's just, because then it becomes a habit, it becomes a
Yes.
pattern. So, you know, somewhere you have to
Draw the line.
draw the line, yeah. But if it's something that I have to respond to because it involves all of us the next day, we go for it. We, half my factory staff labor is from the Muslim community.
Oh, okay.
So the month of Ramzan,
Yeah. Oh
the
my
working
God.
day starts after 1 in the afternoon.
Oh my God.
But then the working day continues through most of the night.
Right.
So if there's something that needs our inputs, because
Right.
we've only been there for that many hours of the day, our inputs
Correct.
continue through the night.
Oh, okay.
So my husband will have some hilarious things to tell you about early AM or midnight calls that we've handled. So he's only hearing one side of the conversation, right? He's
Okay.
hearing my side of it.
Right.
And the responses would give one of you guys a pretty funny little video to shoot. So,
Really?
yeah.
Off camera, you told me your husband is into the real estate, right? And you're a furniture designer. Do you all talk about work when you're at home, or how is it?
So we both enjoy design trends, new materials, things that are happening. He enjoys it.
Okay.
So I don't think it's because of the work he does, it's because he enjoys it that, yeah, we're happy to show each other photographs, or he'll have, taken something and saved it in his highlights, or, saved it on his Insta, or taken a screenshot to show me, or that kind of
Okay.
exchange keeps happening because I think we both enjoy the field.
But is it only like work discussion? Because it goes on and on and on and on. And you
No.
all...
No.
There's a stop.
No, we're good.
Yeah, there's
There's
stop.
enough to talk about.
And your son, how does he find this industry?
Both my boys, they like certain aspects of it. Like if we're doing up their spaces at home, they will definitely be involved. It won't be like we leave it
Okay.
up to you, Mama. They'll definitely have their say in it.
Oh, nice.
So they enjoy it that much, but nothing beyond that.
Okay. Are they interested in this fraternity?
No.
No, not at all.
Sadly, no.
How does that feel?
You know, all of us like to think of a cha legacy.
Yeah.
Somebody will make it grow more. But no, I don't think as of now that that's going to happen with me. You never know.
Cool, guys. I think we have dived into Shilpa ma'am's journey, and I think we understood so much about this industry, which I am truly in awe to know
Thank
so
you.
much about this
Thank
industry.
you.
Now we're moving to a fun segment called the Whisper Challenge, wherein ma'am will be wearing earphones with loud music, and I will give her words related to her industry itself.
So basically, you're going to totally embarrass me now.
And if she guesses all right, then you win a hamper.
I still get the hamper.
Yes, you do. Cushion.
Cushion?
Yes, nice. Okay, cushion. She got the first. Recliner. Recliner.
Tea lights?
No. Recliner. Recliner.
Is it light at the end?
Recliner.
Let's skip it.
Good, okay. Cabinet. Cab.
Napkin.
Cab. Cab. Cabinet.
I can just think napkin.
Cabinet.
Tapping. Mapping.
Cabinet. Okay, next one. Table. 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 Oh, my cheeks. Okay. Table. Tabletop.
Shop. It ended with shop.
Top.
Top.
Second.
Top. Marble top. Stone top.
Table. Table.
Tabletop.
Nice. Wardrobe.
Wardrobe.
Oh, nice. You stopped the music, no? Oh, nice. Okay. Sofa.
Sofa.
Okay. Do you want me to repeat the rest? Okay, good. We'll try. Cabinet.
Tapestry.
Cabinet.
Cabinet.
Nice. You got it. Okay. Last one. Recliner.
Now you said tea light.
Recliner.
Tree.
Recliner. Recliner.
Not light, not night.
One more try. Recliner. Amazing. You got 5 out of 6. Not bad.
Okay, what was that?
Recliner.
Recliner. Okay, I kept thinking tea light or something like that.
But you were fab. I think the tabletop was it. Now that was fun. Now taking back to your journey. Do you have a particular design philosophy?
Less is more.
Less is more. Can you just elaborate a little bit?
It's sometimes nice to keep it simple, clean.
Okay.
Most importantly, clean and a little low key.
Okay.
Crowding or putting too much of something dilutes all of it somehow. If you have 5
Right.
beautiful artifacts, all 5 are going to feel meh. If you have one standout piece, that piece it'll speak.
Okay.
So keep it clean. A little empty space is good as long as it's not dead space, what we call
Okay.
in our lingo. But yeah, definitely less speaks more. Simple speaks louder.
Okay. Then how do you tackle with clients that want everything?
Luckily for me, that's the architect or the interior designer's job.
Okay.
So I suggest the upholstering, the styling, the detailing. So everything doesn't need to be of a metal detail screaming out bling somewhere.
Yeah.
A groove done intelligently and rightly will also add that little extra drama to a piece. Simplicity speaks. It doesn't need to shout it out.
How do you take in when you see a piece that is just made for the sake of it rather than practicality? What goes through your mind when you see such pieces?
Sometimes a showpiece is needed. You just need something that looks wow, just there as an accent.
Okay.
But otherwise, you just wonder why, and you think how I could have done it different and more usable, more ergonomical. Yeah, so I think in our line of work or whichever job each of us is, when we see something that relates to our work, we're always something at the back of our head thinking either we're superbly impressed with it or we're wondering how we could do it better.
Right. Being an Indian furniture designer, how do you feel about clients purchasing furniture from China and all rather than choosing your homegrown brand?
Each to his own. Definitely. I mean, it starts and stops there pretty much. I just hope that the perception of everything that's a known brand,
Right.
whether it's your Italian, German, or an American brand, everything that's a brand is always better. I hope that perception, as time grows, I am able to overcome for my design community. We're doing great work. I know I'm doing good work.
Yeah, you are.
And it's just that at the end of the day, you can order wherever. If you want to go with a known brand, by all means do so, but don't do it because of you think that the Indian made
Right.
is not good enough. The brands are doing some amazingly fabulous work. There's a lot of R&D that goes into it to finally for the product that they're putting out. We're also doing good work.
Yeah.
All of what we make may not be to that level, but we're doing a lot of good work. So I hope that perception of if it's India made, it's always inferior in some way, that perception I hope changes with time.
Do you think people are changing with
Oh,
time?
definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. But it's still there. It's a perception that's a very popular perception.
What is the biggest difference between furniture from there and from India?
In sofas, when you see an Indian made one and you see one that's by an Italian brand or a German brand, you may not see the difference.
Okay.
When you sit on it, you'll feel the difference.
Okay.
There are some materials that the brands are using that we are not at the
Okay.
moment. We either don't have access to them or our workshops or our factory spaces are not set up to be able to handle that. They're not equipped for it. Maybe with time, that's one more challenge that we'll overcome. There's a lot that we've already grown, our industry has in furniture production, furniture manufacture over here.
Right.
So there are some things which we are still not able to do because we are still figuring out access to some of those things, some hardwares, for example.
Right.
So yeah, that's something that is improving, and it's improving a lot.
So definitely India made for sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I would
that's
say
your
at least
goal.
consider it.
Yeah, definitely. I think the stereotype of being an Indian brand or India made should be like pushed over now. I think we need to be using
Yeah, it
more.
is changing. I hope it starts changing. The fashion industry has already made huge leaps and strides in that direction. I hope it filters down to us in the furniture business also being able to make our mark as we go along.
Right. What's your goal in the coming years?
This is a goal.
This.
This is a goal.
This is your main
Yeah,
goal.
make in India, made in India, being considered in the same breath,
Right.
being visualized in the same space side by side.
Yeah.
That definitely would be right up there in my wish list.
That's amazing. And I know you will get it for sure.
Thank you.
Cool. With that, we are moving to the rapid fire round. We're going to ask you some series of questions. Nothing controversial for sure, or maybe. So are you ready?
Yep.
If your furniture could talk, what would they say about you?
Perfection.
Ooh. Very bold word, perfection. Okay, cool. What trends in furniture design do you love, and which are the ones you secretly hope will just go away?
I'm loving the nude and the sand color palette
Okay.
currently.
Okay.
Been around for a couple of years. I hope metal takes a back seat.
Metal?
Yeah.
Okay. Hate it?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Enjoy it, work a lot with it. A bit too much of it. I'd like to see something new
Yeah.
come in.
And inspo would be?
Concrete, more with rustic
Oh, such vintage vibes.
yeah,
Yes.
facets.
What's one design challenge that completely stumped you, and how did you overcome it?
We needed to give a client a dining table that had one leg or one vertical support
Okay.
and then an 8-foot unsupported cantilever
Whoa.
with the weight of a stone top.
So, okay. How did you?
So there was a way that we could take a support from the ceiling without showing it.
Oh, okay.
That's what we finally did. But when you see it, you wouldn't know.
I mean, since you mentioned the details to imagine it, okay.
Yeah, when I was asked, I said not doable. I need to have a
Right.
support from somewhere.
Okay.
But yeah, it worked out.
So you
It worked
pulled it
out
off.
well. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What are the 3 essential qualities that makes a piece of furniture timeless?
Shri,
Yeah.
comfort.
Comfort.
Number
Okay.
one. You'll never outgrow that.
Right.
A clean, timeless structure.
Okay.
There's an iconic Philip Eames chair that I had seen as a child, and I love it to the day.
Okay.
So a clean frame, like a frame is timeless. You can
Okay.
keep changing the color and the upholstery or the finish or whatever is on it. But if that frame is timeless, that designer has aced it.
Okay.
And purpose.
Purpose. Right. Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Can't just put a piece anywhere. Cool. So comfort, timeless structure, and
The purpose.
purpose. Cool. If you were stranded on a desert island and could only bring one of your furniture pieces, which one would it be and why?
Because it's a deserted island, I would say a recliner so that I can kind of do
Right.
whatever I need to do with it. Yeah.
Nice answer. Even I would say the same. In the current era, wherein everyone speaks of vibe, do you prefer designing for aesthetics or comfort?
Sorry, but it has to be both.
Okay.
Can't be one or the other. It could be superbly comfortable, but if it doesn't belong, if it doesn't look right,
Right. Yeah.
so no. Comfort overrules
Mm-hmm.
the aesthetics, but it has to be both.
Hand in hand.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think is the most overrated type of furniture?
No, not overrated.
Okay.
Everything has a cycle. It fades away. You won't see it for 2 decades.
Okay.
My age group, we grew up with all of us in our homes, our parents having, back in the day, the Indian word for it was showcases.
Right. It is.
So display units, or what are bookcases now,
Yeah.
and everybody had it, with these assorted things that people would pick up when we traveled or
Yeah.
something like that. Showpieces they were
Right.
called back in the day.
Yeah.
And then they just disappeared. I didn't see them for 2
Yeah,
decades,
exactly.
right? They were just not there. And now for the last 2-3 years, either they're called display units or they're called
Yeah.
bookcases, and they're back, and how? And I'm loving the designs that are happening and what we are able to put off, and the kind of artifacts and thought that people are putting
Yeah.
into styling them.
Right.
So it comes back. Everything has a cycle.
You have 30 seconds to grab whatever you can from your office. What would it be and why?
My spectacles, my reading glasses.
Okay. Okay. That's practical. Cool. An advice you would like to give to the design fraternity?
Don't think I'm senior enough to give the fraternity advice.
No, I think you are.
But I would go back to what I said about a request of consider make in India, made in India, something that we can use more of, consider more of.
Your last and final question. How was your experience on kite?
I've had fun. I've had a lot of fun, Virginia. Thank you. I ramble. You're going to have to do a lot of editing. But thank you. It's been fun.
Amazing, amazing. And that's a wrap.